This episode contains turbulence caused by strong diecast opinions. Keep your hands and feelings inside the vehicle at all times.
Welcome to the Diecast podcast, episode number 7. Episode number 7, the first of 2026. Now, we're actually recording this at the very tail end of 2025, but welcome to the new year. Happy New Year. How are you, Ben?
I'm good, mate. Happy New Year to yourself as well.
Thank you. Mate, had a good Chrissy?
Had a good Chrissy. Can't say I got any diecast for Chrissy, left that out. It's been a big year of diecast, so it's been good to have a little Christmas break, but I'm pretty keen to get back into it and start the new year going hard. How about yourself?
Nice, mate. My Christmas was good as well. Great times with the family. I did actually get some diecast. My boys know obviously that I like diecast, like Hot Wheels, and so they actually bought me a 5 set. The Hot Wheels 5 sets, which was funny because I, as you know, I'm not a huge mainline collector, and these were mainlines, and it was actually the 80th anniversary. The red set, and all of the cars in there are fantasy cars. So not something that I would have gone and bought, but special because it's from the boys. So it was nice of them to think of me. but a funny one.
Will they end up back in the boys' toy box?
More than likely. But it was the thought that counts, as it is with a lot of Christmas gifts. But no, it was nice. It was nice. There wasn't. My wife actually asked me, "Oh, is there any diecast cars that you want for Christmas?" I said, "No. Listen, love, I've got it sorted. I've got it under control. I've got probably more diecast cars coming than I need." So all good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I will say over the Christmas period, I probably had about 5 different diecast cars rock up. So, they weren't technically Christmas presents, but you know how it is.
I had a whole bunch arrive on Christmas Eve, actually. So plenty to sit down and open on the day and over the next coming days. So looking forward to doing that. But anyway, by the time this comes out, Christmas will be well and truly done and dusted, and we will be into 2026. People will be potentially recovering from their hangovers of the New Year celebrations, but hopefully everyone had a good Christmas and a New Year, a happy New Year. Mate, it is an interesting time though at the tail end of a year as we swap into a new one. It's an exciting time because it's a time of reflection where we look back on what has happened, and of course the same occurs in the diecast world. You see plenty of videos getting around on TikTok and Insta, and this is my 2025 in review and the highlights, etc. But one of the things that I look forward to the most in the diecast space is certainly the 2025 Lamley Awards. It's become a bit of a thing now where I actually really look forward to this coming up, and it's funny, when you look back at the whole year, you sort of forget how much was released within the year. I don't know if you've experienced the same sort of thing when you go back through that list.
I really look forward to the Lamley Awards for the end of the year as well. I will say that the awards come around and there is at times a little bit of disappointment, cars that have been excluded, cars that people are voting for, and you're thinking to yourself, no, how can that be possible? But it has it has been a big 2025, and as I've said before, it's a really good time to be a 164 collector because the models are the best they've ever been, and there are so many companies fighting it out. I guess one point to make with the Lamley Awards is that there are quite strict rules that he uses when it comes to licensing.
Yep.
So that does tend to exclude a lot of models, even some areas that are in the grey zone when it comes to licensing. Say they're licensed RWB but not licensed by Porsche, which is interesting because Hot Wheels must have the Porsche license and the RWB license in play for the RLC,
I think so.
RWB Porsche, yeah. So they are quite strict when it comes to manufacturing. Whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, we both know that I love my non-licensed diecast cars. But anyway, interesting times, and yeah, maybe it's a good time to cover off and share our thoughts.
Yeah, you're right. It is quite strict around his rules, and that's fine. It's his competition. I'm sure that there's a space for potentially an unlicensed competition. Maybe we'll do one next year. But certainly, yeah, there is some strict rules around this one. Look, with the 2025 Lamley Awards, he runs quite a few different lists or awards. There's the best Hot Wheels Super, best new Hot Wheels Basic casting. He does the best Hot Wheels Premium casting. Best Hot Wheels RLC. There's the best Matchbox mainline and moving parts model. But probably the one that I do jump in and vote on all of those, but probably the one that I look forward to the most is the Model of the Year. It's a pretty hot competition. Now, one thing that I want to ask you, Ben, is with those other awards, he posts the list of all the models on his blog. And you can go on there, and I think you can vote for, in some of them, I think most of them, you can vote for your top three. And obviously those votes accumulate and get a percentage against them. And obviously the one with the highest percentage comes out on top, right? Pretty straightforward. With the Model of the Year, it's done in a slightly different fashion where he runs the competition. It starts off with 128 models, which is great, huge range. And look, when you're going through the 128 models, it's fair to say that considering the rules that are in place, he's definitely got a lot of the cars that really were the top 128, right? And I understand he reaches out to numerous people throughout in the community and sort of gets a bit of feedback on what they think and sort of compiles that to help make the list. So that's all well and good. But how he runs that voting side of things is it's all at random. So you've got that whole 128 pitted against each other at random. And then obviously that then filters down to eventually a final one. But the only problem with that, I feel, and I don't have a huge amount of suggestions as far as alternative ways to vote, but the only problem with that is because they are pitted against each other at random, sometimes very early on in the voting, you can have two really good models that potentially you would argue could make it to the final two or to final four, but they're pitted against each other very early on in the piece, and only one can win. And once that one is won, the other one is eliminated, essentially. So it's an interesting way of I guess, doing battle to get to a final Model of the Year. But it's exciting. As you vote, it's on his stories on Instagram, and as you vote, you can sort of see, okay, I can see where the percentages are at against the two models that are against each other, and sometimes it's quite surprising. There's some certainly where before you click on it, you can't see what the percentages are, and once you've clicked on your favourite, you see what the percentage are, and you go, oh, hang on, I definitely thought that one would be the more popular of the two. So it is interesting. I don't know what your experience is. Similar?
Yeah, it's like it's a sudden death playoff, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it's similar to tennis. You've got the two best. Say back in the day, you got the two best players, and they get put against each other in the first round, and one's gone, and that technically should have been the final. But one thing I will say is, no one remembers second place, do they?
You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on.
So the winner is always going to be the winner.
Correct.
And in a year's time, when they're talking about who was the winner from last year, no one's bringing up who came second place or who came third place or fourth place.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I guess it really doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And at the end of the day, there's no doubt that in each of the years that I've participated in the voting, there is no doubt that the model that comes out at the end of the day on top is certainly, regardless of whether you agree that it's the top model or not, it has certainly been, at least in previous years, it has certainly been a model that was no doubt popular. And it was no doubt, a big hit amongst the diecast community. So, it certainly makes it for an exciting competition, that's for sure. I just wanted to touch base on and run through, I guess, not the whole 128, of course, but the final 16. We had a good range of different brands in there. And there's almost no doubt in my mind, and I'd love to know your thoughts, but there's almost no doubt in my mind that of the final 16, these were easily some of the hottest drops of 2025, in my opinion. There were some surprising pieces that managed to get in there, but look, nothing that was in there that I thought, that has no right to be there. Everything that was in that final 16, I thought, I definitely understand why it's there, even if I wouldn't have put it there myself, put it that way. So we had Tomica. Obviously, Tomica re-released the Ferrari F40, as you could fully expect, made its way into the final 16. Tomica also had the Ferrari, I think it was the 512 as well, that they released in 2025. Do you know if it was the 512?
The Testarossa, I believe it was the 512 Testarossa. Is that right?
I think it was. I think it was.
Was in the awards. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that was two of Tomica's entries in the final 16. Spark had their amazing Porsche that they released in 2025. That was in there. Hot Wheels, of course, had quite a number of entries. The RLC RWB, the infamous RLC RWB. Of course, in 2025, some of the biggest news that came out was Hot Wheels re-entering their license deal with Ferrari. And so, of course, there was quite a few Ferraris in the list. The 499P was there, the F50 was there, the 250 GTO was there, and of course the Fiat from the Transporter set with the 250 GTO made its way in there as well. So quite a few Ferraris. They also had the RLC Ford GT. Certainly worthy of being in the list. And of course the what was the purple one? The name, I'm having a full mind blank.
The Chevy SS Nova.
That's the one, the Chevy SS Nova. That made its way in there as well. And the Pandem R32 RC car was in there as well. No, it made its way in there. What's your thoughts there, mate? I'm not sure if you agree.
Look, I don't agree with having an RC car in the mix with diecast cars. I mean, I'm
Fair.
glad it didn't win. I'm happy for it to be in the mix, but I'm glad that it didn't win. I would have been very disappointed if an RC car had have won the diecast model of the year. So I was pretty happy to see that one knocked out, to tell you the truth.
I do agree that it would have been pretty controversial. Definitely. There's no doubt about that. Look, the white RWB from the premium release throughout the year was in there. The Lexus LFA from the Timeless Classics car culture set was in there. So a lot of Hot Wheels. Mini GT had an entry with, of course, the Roxy, correction. Roxy has been a previous winner, but Roxy is in the mix this year. The Kaito House BMW E30 in the candy red. That was in there. There was also the Mazda 787B, and I believe that was the Motor Helix one. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that was also in the final 16, which was also worthy of being in there, I thought. So, of course, as voting was carried out, we eventually made our way down to a final four, and we ended up with the Mini GT Roxy, the Tomica F40, the Hot Wheels RLC RWB, and the Hot Wheels RLC Ferrari 499P, and then down to a final two, where we ended up with the Roxy, Mini GT's Roxy, and Hot Wheels RLC RWB. We're in the final two. And I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe a winner has yet to be announced for 2025.
I'm sure by the time this podcast is released, the winner has been announced. And I recall seeing, I think I voted quite late, and the percentage was highly in favour of Roxy. So I do believe it will be Roxy. My thoughts on the 2025 Lamley Awards, I think there's been a lot of, obviously, cars that have the hype behind them. I almost wouldn't say based around, the casting, the quality. It seems to be a lot of hype around the cars. So, I mean, and that's fair. People are going to vote for the cars they like. But I think when it comes to it, I think cars should lose points for Obviously, the Tomica F40 was previously released. I think you should lose points for that because it's a re-release of a casting. I think you should lose points
It's
if
fair.
it's just a color change. So you look at the RWB Porsche, that is just a color change that has been released already. You should gain points for new castings, the Chevy Nova SS, the GT40, the most all the Ferraris are pretty much new castings, so extra points for that. And I mean, you look at something like the Motor Helix 787B, that probably is by far, out of all of these cars, in my opinion, the best casting and best made diecast piece. Not many people have this in their collections, and it was quite expensive. So I guess price wise, you need to lose points on that, but an absolutely incredible piece. So it is a little controversial, in my opinion, the winners, because it's just based on the general public's views. But I guess, hype is hype, and that's what drives sales, isn't it? So by the looks of it,
Yeah,
we've got Mini GT Roxy as car of the year this year, I believe it will be.
I think you're right. I think it will be. It will be, which will be interesting because we had Rexy win the 2024, I believe. And if Roxy does take out the gong for 2025, and look, this is not Lamley's pick. Obviously, he picks the 128 that goes in there with some feedback, of course. But look, it's it is voted by the people. So the people have spoken. That's what's got us down to this final two, and it does appear that Mini GT Roxy will take out the award. But I 100% agree with you. There is a very big price difference between some of those models, and there is also some of them are not new castings. To your point as well, I agree that there should be some loss of points. For those things, where there was certainly some other castings throughout or that were in this competition even throughout the year that I thought should have ranked higher, but as is the sudden death, piece, they end up getting voted out fairly early on sometimes. But certainly a slight on their behalf. Hard done by.
And not to mention too, there's also been quite a few cars potentially missed as well. I mean, obviously there's a lot of unlicensed cars, grey area licensed cars out of the mix, but also things like Kyosho is fully licensed. There are 34. I noticed they did have a few pop race cars in there, but they were strictly, I believe, the Lamborghinis that are fully licensed by Lamborghini.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of cars, a lot of brands missing, lots of things that I'd like to see in there, and I would have loved to have seen a car that is fully licensed, 100% licensed by either Holden or Ford, and that would have been very nice to see a nice little Oswheels car slipped into the mix as well. Clearly wouldn't win in the votes, but the Aussies would absolutely love to see it in there. I think.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And look, it potentially could happen one day. Oswald's are going full steam ahead. We've got a few to talk about today. There's no reason why we wouldn't see one of those feature in the future. They are fully licensed, so they meet the rules in that regard. Mm-hmm. But you're right. Whether they get the global votes to get anywhere near the near the top is another thing. But one thing is for sure, and that is that the 2025 Lamley Awards, they certainly highlight some of the releases from throughout the year. One of the things that I like to do is look back through those releases and just remember as each of them came out, and there were certainly many of them that I managed to get my hands on, many that I missed as well, but yeah, there was certainly a good year, that's for sure.
Okay, by the looks of it, we've seen Roxy, Mini GT, the 911 take it out. What is Minicar Realms model of the year for 2025?
Model of the year for 2025 for me. Look, you've put me on the spot here. Look, I'd have to say that surprisingly, this isn't something that I would have normally picked, but I would have to say that one of my favourite models of the year for 2025 would have to be the Fiat Transporter for the Ferrari team transport. I have been a big fan of that transporter for many years, being a big Ferrari fan. And when I collected 118 scale, I really wanted one of those Fiat transporters. They actually do them in the 118
Yes.
scale,
Yeah.
and it was a model that was always on my Grail list, and I never achieved it. It was just always out of my price range. I could never find one for the right price. Very, very expensive model, as you could imagine. And I just always really, really wanted one. I had a huge Ferrari collection. So to finally have one in 164 for Hot Wheels to do it, that is probably one of the biggest highlights for 2025 for me.
Backup question: have you picked up the Hot Wheels Fiat Transporter with the 250 GTO yet?
I have.
You
Yep.
have.
It
Nice.
arrived on Christmas Eve.
Amazing. I've also just secured myself one as well, and not for the Fiat, because to tell you the truth, I mean, I would have been happy to have just purchased the Team Transport, given you the Fiat, and just kept the 250 GTO, because that's all I want. I've paid a premium for the GTO only.
Look, I did need the 250 GTO as well. Look, stoked with that. And look, so hard to pick a favourite for the year, but I think it's a unique one, and it's not something that I expected anyone to do. You know, you expect these guys to go out and do F40s and RWBs and all these different things, but for somebody to pick up the Fiat Transporter and do that, I thought was really cool. So that's certainly a highlight for me. How about yourself, mate? Would you say was your 2025 model of the year?
You haven't put me on the spot, but it is a very tough one. Look, I think when we look at the Pop Race Mercedes CLK GTR, I think that was probably the previous year that was released, and we can't include the 787 from Pop Race yet because that's going to be released next year. I really liked the GR86 Advan from Pop Race. We've covered off on that extensively. And a car that I really liked was the Pandem S13 from Pop Race. Look, it's hard to pick model of the year, and this is a tough one because the Micro Turbo NSX wide body in black has dropped in 2025, but most people aren't going to get their hands on it till 2026. So what year do I include that in? Because that would be my top model. That would be my top model of the year. I was absolutely pumped to get that one. And
will you have it in hand?
I do. I haven't opened it yet, so I'm waiting. But yes, it'll be opened in the near future. Make sure I showcase it for everyone to see. So that would have to be my model of the year. So a very tough one.
Perfect.
There's a few others. I probably would say, let's cover Mini GT. My favorite Mini GT model of the year would also have to be the Liberty Walk Countach, which I think that was in the Lamley Awards too, but must have been knocked out a little bit earlier.
Yep.
You're a bit of a,
it was a good one.
You're a bit of a Mini GT fiend. What was your Mini GT model of the year?
Model of the year? It's a good question, actually. One of my favourites that stands out for me was Mini GT did a box set with the Motel Nissan Racing, the Nismo, and it came with the little figurine and that sort of thing. That I thought that was outstanding. That model. That was definitely one of my favourites. R35,
yep.
Yep, correct. Yep, that was outstanding. The R32 with the figurine was also good. That was also really, really good. But look, there was a ton of good Liberty Walk ones as well. You've really put me on the spot here. Look, the Rexy and Roxy's were good, but Rexy was previous year, etc. Yeah, I don't know. There was quite a few that I really liked, but I don't know. I can't say. Actually, one that stands out for me as well. Actually, is they did a little Mazda MX-5 or a Miata in blue. And that was just a really tidy little model, little pop-up headlights in the open position, and I really liked that one as well.
Yeah, nice. Yep, fair call. Look, I'd cover off Cato House and tell you my Cato House model of the year, but I don't have one. So I do like I do like the BMW casting. Obviously, extra points for being a new casting. However, they haven't released a color that I'm digging yet. So Cato House, the Boy Racer Ben Cato House Awards will be on pause for this year and waiting for a good model to be released. No, they got a few good ones coming out next year, don't they? They got the S13, they got the
They
80,
do.
86. So yeah, potentially something coming from Cato House for us both in the new year. So scrap Cato House for 2025.
For me, the Cato House model was the BMW E30, but just in the plain red with the BBS wheels.
Okay.
I thought that was really tidy. That was probably my favourite Cato House model for 2025.
Yeah, nice. Let's go back to the Lamley Awards, and obviously he did his other awards. Had the main line. I guess we'll, you know, shout out the mainline winner, which was clearly the Ferrari F40, and in my opinion, the best mainline of
Yes.
2025. So we don't need to go into the main lines too much. Something that we're both not as passionate about. Same as Matchbox. I don't
Yep.
really feel the need to go into Matchbox if you do, but I guess something that we do both
No.
collect a lot of is the Hot Wheels premium line. And you have already covered off on the winner, and the premium winner was the Fiat Transporter that came with the 250 GTO. So I guess part of one of my follow-up questions was, what was your favorite for the year? Let's exclude the Fiat. What was your next favorite model of the year?
Next favourite was, I'm going to say the F50. Iconic
F50.
Ferrari. And I really liked that premium casting of the F50.
Yeah. Well, I've already mentioned mine, and it was a clear winner in my books, and it was the 250 GTO. There probably were a few other models to mention that I believe deserved a little more recognition, like the BMW M3, the GT3. I thought that was a pretty cool casting for the year.
It was.
You
Yep.
know, I think a favourite of yours, maybe the LFA as well. You were pretty stoked with
Yeah, I
that one,
liked.
weren't you?
Yeah, I did like the LFA. Yeah, that was a favourite. And look, I really liked the original Panda R32 as well. That was a favourite of mine as well. The one with the white, where the chase was
Yes.
the
Yeah.
R32. Modern Classics, I think it was. That R32
Yeah.
Panda was a favourite, and I know you liked the Subaru Forester out of that set as well.
Forester, yes, yes. Close second behind the 250 GTO, that Forester.
Yep. Yep.
Moving on to RLC as well. So we had clearly the RWB was always going to win the RLC of the year. As I said before, loss of points for previous casting already released. But don't get me wrong, maybe it's because I'm dirty that I was unable to pick this one up.
Yeah. Yep.
I was looking, and the Chevy Nova didn't score as highly as I thought it did. I believe the Jesco scored quite highly, the Koenigsegg, so I think that was probably second
Yes.
place.
Yeah. I saw one at the Australian Diecast Expo that someone had there for sale, and yeah, gorgeous model. Someone snapped it up before I managed to get my hands on it, but yeah, it was definitely up there as worthy of the recognition. That's for sure.
Yeah, so personally, we've harped on about it a lot already, but personally, the Chevy Nova being a new casting in the purple stance, nice wheels, that was by far for me my favourite RLC casting of the year, and we've harped on enough about it already. And I will say it was yours as well, so we don't need to go into that.
It was certainly up there. It was certainly up there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Did you want to
I
cover
guess,
off on the Super?
Super. I mean, yeah, they did. Obviously, they did the Lamley Awards covered off on the Super Treasure Hunts as well. Something that we both don't really collect. Overpriced Hot Wheels car mainline, isn't it? When it comes down to it, a lot of hype. But I will
I've never
say,
I've never been able to get into it.
I've I've found one, and yeah, it doesn't do it for me too much. I've never really chased after them. Probably my favorite super treasure hunt for those that are chasing all the treasure hunts and are interested. Probably for me, 2025 was the Datsun Sunny pickup. That was my favorite treasure hunt, and I believe them old school Mercedes won the Lamley Awards in that category.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. I wasn't sure who picked up the award because they had did the Hot Wheels F40, there was a Hot Wheels F40 treasure hunt, or is that a 2026 release?
I believe that's a 2026 release. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, righto. I really liked, and look, as you know, I'm not a mainline collector or a treasure hunt collector. I don't have a single one to my name, but the only ones that I did see that I thought, oh, that's nice, is they had that Aston Martin. I don't
Like
even
a
know
concept car.
what
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
called. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah.
DB.
But anyway,
It was a
I thought
DB
that looked quite
something.
cool.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought that was quite cool. So, probably the only thing that really caught my eye throughout the year. Actually, I lie. Actually, there was also the M3 wagon, like the M3 Tour, M3, yeah,
Yep.
BMW M3 wagon. That looked quite good as well, I thought. But that's probably the only two that have really caught my eye throughout the year.
Anyway, massive year for Diecast, and next year's going to be
It
even
certainly
bigger.
has been.
Yeah, so capping it off, Mini GT was the winner. Roxy Mini GT, the 911, was the winner this year, and well, I hope it was because I'm spreading false information if it wasn't. But moving on to Mini GT,
Yeah.
we've
I was like the confidence on this bloke. Moving on to Mini
moving
GT,
forward with
yes,
Mini
yes, yes.
GT, we've just had 6 new releases coming from Mini GT, the December pre-order release. You want to cover off on them for us?
Yeah, sure can. So we've seen quite a few of the Valeside cars coming through from Mini GT. This time we had another Toyota Supra. This time with the Valeside kit, obviously, but this time in the black. A new, not a new casting or a new release, but just a different colour. The Bugatti W16, again, not a new casting, but a new colour in the yellow. It's a convertible, so you've got the yellow interior as well, which looks good. The Ford Mustang Mark 1 in blue. So I actually have this casting in the James Bond series. They had the red one. So they've obviously released this in a couple of other colours as well. That was the blue. There was the Ford Puma, which was like the rally spec one from, I think, 2025, actually. And then there was the Liberty Walk Lamborghini Hurricane. And then there was the Porsche 911 GT3 in a ring taxi livery. But so that was the 6. Anything that took or caught your eye out of these 6?
There is one car that I'm not 100% sure on, but I would consider getting the Ford Puma. Is the Ford Puma like a different name for, say, a Fiesta in another country? Is it a Fiesta?
I think it
looks a
might
little
be,
bit
although I
well.
I
The
thought we
Ford
had Pumas here.
the Ford Puma. I think clear. Yeah, it looks a bit like a Fiesta. It's hard to see from the angle that I'm looking at, but it is in the Red Bull livery. I think the livery looks really good in the Red Bull rally spec.
Yeah.
But I'm still not 100% sold, and that was the only one that vaguely caught my eye. For me, this lot of 6 is another flop from Mini GT, in my opinion. Sorry.
Savage. Look, I wasn't a fan of the Valeside. We've spoken about that before. I'm not going to get another Mark 1 Mustang. The red one that I've got is sufficient. I also liked the rally spec Ford Puma. I thought it looked good with the livery. Plus, I like something with a livery. This was good. The Liberty Walk Lamborghini I did look at twice. I did the old, let me have a few more photos of this, please. I think I'll pass. Wasn't one that really grabbed me. One of the ones that did grab me, though, when I looked at a few more pictures, was that 911 GT3. I didn't mind it. It sort of gave me and look, I don't know what the ringtaxi.com livery is, but just sort of something about it just gave me Nürburgring vibes, and I could just see this thing on the Nürburgring. So I quite liked that one. Didn't order it. I haven't ordered actually any of them yet, but I was on the fence about the Ford Puma and the Porsche. But that was about it for me.
Yeah, I'm almost getting like sort of Marlboro vibes from the 911.
I got that too.
Still,
yeah,
not enough to get me
it
across
is
the
those
line,
colours.
It is.
Next time.
Absolutely.
Next time. All right. Well, that was Mini GT.
How about we cover off on Pop Race? And we've seen another release of, I believe it was maybe 7 cars from Pop Race that were released. And then I've just picked up another one today, which I do believe you wouldn't have seen until I've added it to the slides. But first thing, we've got the Toyota Supra, the top secret edition. We've got it in a white color. We've got the Mazda RX-7 in the Renown livery. We've got a Lamborghini Centenario in a full carbon, unfortunately. We've got the Pandem GR Supra in a green and black livery. We've got a couple of new castings here actually, which is quite exciting. We've got a Honda EG6 Civic in just a plain blue color, but it looks like Pop Race, and I didn't know it was coming, but they're going down the stock line. We've got a few stock cars coming from Pop Race, and we've got a very stock Honda EG6. We've got a Pandem body kit Lotus Elise, which is another new casting, new release. And this one is again a follow-up from the likes of the Mercedes CLK GTR, the 787B, the Pagani Zonda R, and this is a Lotus Elise in purple with the Pandem body kit, and this has a removable front end and removable rear end. And the last one on the list we will cover off in a minute, but it is in fact a R34 GTR Skyline. Just a standard one once again. And I must admit, I didn't see this one coming. I didn't think they were going to release a R34 GTR. And this one's been released to start with under the banner of X Car Toys. But I believe maybe by the time this podcast releases that Pop Race will have it as one of their releases as well, because that's quite often what happens with X Car Toys and Pop Race. What's your thought? We've got...
It's interesting that they've gone straight for the Bayside Blue.
They have, yeah. Very stock V-spec style Bayside Blue R34 GTR. Looks like it's got brake calipers under there as well. Even the wheels are very stock Skyline. So, yeah, very stock look there, along with the Honda EG6.
I'm liking it. This set that came out, I actually really liked... and I know we just spoke about it on the last episode about every man and his dog doing a top secret Supra, and then not stopping at a gold top secret Supra, but doing every colour under the sun. But this one looked really good. The gold wheels against the white body, the gold top secret decal down the side, just set it off really nice. The whole package looked really nice. I don't think I'm going to be able to pass on this one. I might have to get another top secret Supra for the collection. I think this one looked really good. Wasn't that fussed on the Lamborghini Centenario, the carbon with blue accents. Looks all right, but yeah, I'll pass on that one. Wasn't also fussed on the Pandem GR Supra. I have a few GR Supras from Pop Race already. I didn't really like the livery on this one. I didn't really rate it. Look, the RX-7 in the Renown livery, look, I did notice that it had the popped-up headlights, and I do prefer the popped-up headlights versus the ones that are down. But I think I will pass on this one. I don't know. I just yeah, I've got a couple already. I've got the 641, etc. I think I'll pass on that one. The Honda EG6, I'll pass on. And looks just not really a big stock car person. Well, yeah, it depends. It depends on what it is, but yeah, I'm not something that I'm going to grab. But that Pandem Lotus Elise, I will certainly add to the collection. That purple is a replica of the real one of one Pandem Lotus Elise. I'll definitely be adding that one to the collection for sure. As for the X-Car Toys R34, I'll probably pass unless I see something else about it that I haven't seen yet. But it's cool to see that them bringing out something like that. But yeah, it's not something that I would necessarily go and grab. I feel like I've got enough R34s in my collection. How about yourself, mate? Any other thoughts to add to the pop race models?
Yeah, when it comes to the R34, I was a little bit the same. I was thinking, did we need another 164 R34 at the moment? Maybe not. It is very stock. I will pick it up. I do like a Bayside Blue R34, and it'll be a good one to compare to the likes of the Mini GT one as well.
True.
The Honda EG6, I do like stock Civic. The EG is my favorite Civic, so I'll be getting that one. I'm probably more excited for that one when we get a few other colors, maybe a plain white one. Probably a plain white one's the one I'm looking forward to. I'm very similar feelings when it comes to the RX-7, the Renown livery. I don't really love the Renown livery on an RX-7. I haven't picked up any of the other brands that have done it. The Inus, I think Mini GT, they may have done it as well. So I'll probably pass. I have got a lot of other ones.
Yeah, maybe.
We know my thoughts on the full carbon body kits, full carbon cars. So it's something that I stay away from. So I can't see myself picking up that Lamborghini. I'm with you on the Pan Am GR Supra. I have got a couple already. To start with, I'm not a massive fan of the Mark V Supra, so I don't feel that I need another one. And I did really like the Top Secret Supra in white as well. I thought that one looks really good. So I'll 100% be picking that one up. And obviously, a follow-up with the removable front end and rear end on the Lotus Elise. How can you not pick that one up? And I'm really interested to see this one in person because it is just such a different looking car. So I'm almost interested to see whether it's even smaller than the other ones, because obviously a Lotus Elise is a lot smaller car.
It is, yeah.
Any other car. So I'm interested to see the scale as well. But yeah, super cool looking car and one that I won't be missing out on.
Yeah, I'm also very interested to see the scale on that Lotus Elise. It'll be interesting. But yeah, looking forward to that coming out, getting that in hand. It'll be good. What did you want to move on to next, mate?
I think one car to note with and a brand that we have talked about before is Mortal Model. And I know when I went to China, Mortal Model was a very popular brand and people were lining up. We have talked about the Toyota Taraga, otherwise known as the Prevera, the Toyota Prevera. And I know that is getting released. And for those that missed it, I'm talking about you in the red over silver. That is being released in a full silver and I believe a black as well. So you will have an opportunity to pick those up if you have missed the event exclusive. But sticking on the more I did send you the link. I'm guessing you passed on that one. I was hoping you'd pick up the Taraga in red over silver.
I was looking to do it, but then Christmas happened and everything else, and I completely forgot, to be honest with you. So I might have to go and click on that link and see if there's anything still there. But anyway, thank you though. Thanks for looking out for me.
No problem. The other one that I did point out to you, and I think you said you had your finger hovering over the pre-order button, was the Mortal Model Toyota Cresta, otherwise known as a Toyota Chaser here in Australia. The ZX, what is it, ZX 100?
Yeah, ZX 100, yeah.
Yep. And this is another model that I saw while I was over in China, and it was one that I really wanted, but I didn't want to line up to get it. And one of the highlights and standouts for this car is the engine detail. This one has a magnetic removable hood, and it has the 1JZ under the hood. And I can say, and I dare say you're looking at the pictures now, and the engine detailing on this one is absolutely insane.
It really, really is. They've dropped a few variants of this. There's been a few exclusives, etc., in a number of different colours, and every single time it gets released, I just drool over this thing. They really nailed it. They've done a great job. So I'm definitely going to have to grab one of these things. I think I almost hit pre-order today on one of them, and after this conversation, I think I'll have to. I've got a little bit of FOMO now. Like, I should have hit the order button, because what if it's not there when I get back, when we get off this call? So,
Yeah.
Look, I'll definitely have to get one of these into the collection at some point.
For me, they have previously made a white one, a white over, it might have been white over silver, and that one was really nice. So for me, it'd almost be a shame to pick up the current release, the blue or the red one, knowing that there was a better one that I preferred, because it's not a car that I'd probably get multiple variants of the color. So maybe I'll hold firm and hope for another release in a nicer color. Not a nicer color, but a color that, hits my taste a little harder.
Yeah, I hear you. I'll be happy to have just one of these in the collection, but I wasn't a huge fan of this blue or the red with the black highlights either. They weren't my favourite releases that I've seen to date. They did one that looked almost like like an original two-tone. I think it was maybe the green, the dark green, almost like the Sylvia S13 green. I thought that one was really nice. And they also did an orange one, which I thought was cool as well. I don't mind a bit of in-your-face sort of colour like that. I think that both of those were exclusives to some sort of event or something like that, so they were hard to get your hands on. But look, I don't mind the blue. I don't even mind the red, really. It's just not my favourite colours that I've seen it released in. But either way, whatever colour I do end up with, I will end up with one of these in the collection at some point, because they are outstanding, and I do like a Toyota.
Definitely. All right, let's move on to a little line that you pointed out to me. Looks like Tomica may be releasing new line, and it's TCW. What does that stand for?
Yeah, Tomica Custom Works. So this is allegedly their 55th anniversary. We know that Tomica do an outstanding job on a lot of castings, but a lot of their castings are pretty stock, as you would see them in traffic, I suppose you could say. But these Tomica Custom Works are extremely custom, the sort of thing that you'd probably expect to see from Pop Race with a Pandem kit car, or something like Mortal would do with a full body kit, custom wheels, etc., etc. What has been announced to date, and we've really only seen the castings, so we don't know liveries or colours or any of those sorts of things yet. We've only seen the resin pictures. We're looking at a S13. This is Sylvia S13 and a Honda NSX. And we had a brief conversation earlier, you and I, around what body kit these are. And we're really not sure what the kit is, whether it's completely custom from Tomica or if it is a brand of body kit. But they are pretty wild, that's for sure. What's your thoughts, mate?
They are a little wild. It's almost floating between the lines of a real body kit and a Kato house. So looking at that NSX, it's semi-similar to the Kato House NSX. But to tell you the truth, I think I like the look of this one a little more. I'll be interested to see. I'm guessing this new line, if it's going to be a new line, is more in the price range of the Tomica Limited Vintage Neo. You'd have to guess so, but you'd hope that it's not sort of more the Tomica premium line, but I guess time will tell. Is it aimed more as a kid's toy or as a collector piece?
Yeah. I mean, it certainly looks like it's fairly high end. It looks like it's got opening parts. Like the Nissan Sylvia looks like it's got opening doors. And it looks like the NSX has the opening hood that we've seen from Kaito House, and then more recently from Pop Race with the rear window glass lifting.
Yeah, because what I will say about the Tomica, the S13 is the lines on the doors don't look that great. Sort of very similar to the premium line that they do with the doors, and they open. The gaps are too wide, in my opinion. But it is just the resin model, so we'll have
Yep.
to wait and see what happens. Not a lot of information at this point in time, so I guess time will tell. But something to keep an eye on as we move forward.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The other one that we saw a few new releases from was Inno 64. The whole bunch of models came out on release. Do you want to run us through them?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a top secret white R32 GTR. I do like an R32 GTR, not huge on the top secret ones and in white. So I'll probably pass on that. One that did capture my eye was and I did see a resin model of this one in China as well. And this is the Pandem E30 BMW. And I do know Pop Race are releasing this one. We've talked about it, I think, on the last podcast. So I think I'll be waiting for the Pop Race one, obviously, with the opening hood. The hood tilts forward. We've got an RWB in matte black. And this is a 964. Doesn't look too bad. We've got the S2000 in blue. This is the JS Racing. So we covered off on the JS Racing S2000s last week. And the micro turbo version, in my opinion, is a lot better. And I'll be staying away from the Inu one. We've got the Darwin Pro Toyota Supra. This is the Mark V again. So not huge on the Mark V Supra. I'll pass on that. We've got an S15, looks like a top secret S15 in gold. Potentially, I would pick this up because I don't have a top secret S15 example. And we've got the Yang Wang U9, and we have seen this one released from Pop Race. So this is the electric car, the fastest electric car in the world. It kind of jumps up and down on the spot. It can swivel 360 on the spot, help you get into car parks. You just nose in, then you swivel your back in. So, places like China, it is a very well-known car, very well-known electric supercar. However, I've got the Pop Race one, and again, electric cars, not my thing, so I definitely don't need a couple of examples of that one. That's me.
Fair. Mate, I'm going to be honest, there wasn't anything from this release that I was running out to buy. I have the Mini GT Top Secret S15. I have the Pop Race Darwin Supra, and like you said, the J's Racing from Micro Turbo is probably the better model. I'll be waiting for the Pop Race Panda E30. Look, I don't mind Inno's RWBs. That one had me half thinking about ordering, but I'm not huge on the matte black. And yeah, they did the top secret R32, and also the Yang Wang just didn't really didn't really grab me. So that's Inno 64. I am looking forward to, though. Some time ago we spoke about the MR2 that they did, and I did pre-order one of those, so I'm looking forward to that arriving at some point. I'm really keen to get my hands on that.
Yeah, that is a super cool looking one. I think I've also mentioned the Micro Turbo MR2, also a very nice MR2. So for me, I'll stick with that one. I've already got it, and yeah, super cool piece.
Yeah, yep. All right, mate. Moving on to one of your favourite brands, Oz Wheels. Do you want to run us through the latest releases from Oz Wheels?
One of our favourite brands, obviously being Australian, Oz Wheels, excites us all. If you're not Australian and you're into diecast, it won't excite you. Well, it might actually. I do get a few people from the US and even Europe that sort of mention, oh, those look cool. What are they? A little disappointing that Oz Wheels don't hold a dear place in your little heart. But let's cover off.
We've got.
Yeah, and this is the FSD range, the fully sick detail range. This is the range that you like, clear windows, interior. So I'm sure that a couple of these will catch your eyes, as the last set did. But let's cover off. We've just had the release the announcement of the up-and-coming FSD Series 2. So this is 6 cars, starting off with the Holden HQ 1972 one-tonner ute. So this is obviously America's version of the pickup truck, but with a ute tray back. It's kind of the farmer's variant. So this is what you would have seen driving around on the farm. Hay bales in the back. It has got I can't remember what they call the front end on it. It's not the actual HQ front end, the original, the one everyone knows and loves. It's not called the commercial. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it has got a slightly different front end to the regular HQ.
Yeah.
We've got 2 station wagons, something we haven't seen from Oswheels, but we've got a 1969 XW station wagon in a 2-tone. It's like a maroon red with a white roof. Then we've got the HQ station wagon 1972. This has got the proper front end on it that everyone loves. This is a white roof in sort of a light yellow color. And then probably the 3 cars that have excited me the most out of this range is, and I know one of them has excited you as well, but let's start with the VK Blue Meanie. We saw the event exclusive released recently. So this is the stock version, no blower coming out of the hood. And I'm pretty happy to see that this one has been slammed as well. So it's got more the stock OG wheels, still slammed down on its guts. So it looks really cool. 100% be picking up that, probably a couple of them. We've got the XR8 BA Falcon. This is in a blue color, and I believe this was thrown out to the public, and everyone got to vote on what color they wanted the first release of the BA Falcon to be, and everyone chose this blue color. You know, wouldn't have looked out of place if there was a little bit of rust around the boot and around the spoiler and that sort of thing, because these cars are known to rust out. But super cool looking car, and maybe I'll change a few, change the color of a few panels and put a bit of rust around the place, and it'll look right in place in the collection. And the one that I know you were the most excited because we talked about it, and this is the 1968, and this is my favorite Monaro, my favorite Holden Monaro ever made, and this is the HK GTS Monaro. Will say the green with the black stripe this has been released in, it almost looks like more of a British green than a light green, but I would have preferred it to have maybe been in like a blue color or something, even a white. So not my favorite color, but I still absolutely love it. And it's the first time we've seen this casting, and happy to say it is slammed down on its guts as well. So nothing looks better than a lowered Monaro. So super keen to get hold of that one. How about you? Thoughts on the FSD Series 2 range? You picking all 6 up?
Mate, I don't think I'll get all 6. I did get all 6 of the last lot, as you know. I have since given away the VL, only because a friend of mine really wanted a VL, and I said, sure, I've got one at home, you can have it. Not that I didn't like the VL, I just was happy to help him out. But I do have the remaining 5 still. Look, I really like the one-tonner. It is a pretty iconic workhorse in the Australian scene. So, yeah, I thought that was cool. I'll probably grab one of those. I will probably pass on the station wagons. They're cool. They're definitely cool, but I'll probably pass on them. Definitely grab a Blue Meanie. I was happy to see that they have gone and done a stock version of the Meanie. Well, somewhat stock anyway compared to the version that we got from the Expo. And you're right, the Monaro GTS was certainly a favourite of mine from this release anyway. Happy to see it wasn't just stock. It was done up with a nice set of wheels. I quite liked the green colour, but you're right, I would like to see some other colours as well. But that one was certainly the highlight for me. The XR8, for those of you that are overseas and you're wondering what the deal is with the whole Holden and Ford thing, if you don't know, there is a fierce rivalry between Holden and Ford, and if it isn't obvious yet, Ben is a Holden man. So all that talk about the rust in the XR8, that was something that he's memorised over time to make sure that he's got some fodder when he's talking to a Ford fan. But
look, And let's say, I don't know if that BA Falcon can make it from one side of the diorama to the other without breaking down. So, you know.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Look, I do like that they went with that blue on the XR8. It is certainly a colour that was very popular with Ford fans in the XR8. I'm not a huge Holden or Ford fanatic, but I think I'll pass on the BA. Now, if Oswills do an AU, the mighty AU, I'll probably have to pick up one of those. But but anyway, I'll see. I might grab one of these BAs. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely. The BA is iconic. I'll definitely be picking it up. It is cool. It would have been really cool to see it in that. You remember that sort of acid green color that it was released in? That would be really cool to see it in.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't
And
even
to
mind the
tell you
purple as well. Remember they did the purple color?
yeah, yeah, I do. I do remember the purple. To tell you the truth, I'd really love it to see in just a stock white. I've got a couple of police lights. I'd put the police lights on top, and then I've got some police decals. I'd place those down the sides and make myself an Australian police car to go with my sets, because we haven't seen an FSD, modern police car from Oswald. So I mean, either just do that or I'll make my own. But yeah, it'll be good to go with my cars. Although it will look funny when a 2005 police car's pulling over a 2017 Maloo. That's gonna I'll cop it for that when I'm making videos, but that's life.
Hey, worth a shot. Mate, one that's just been announced today, or a new series. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we've just seen the FSD Series 2, and it looks like they're just about to release another, and we should know all the cars by the time this releases, but it's a set of 6 cars, and I believe it was called the Showstoppers. So it'll be a set of 6 cars, and these cars will only be available from car events. So Oswills are very ingrained in the car community. They go to a lot of car shows, and I believe these cars will only be available from the shows, but they will also be releasing a limited amount on their website for those that live in other states and can't get to the car shows. But I do believe they will potentially sell out quite fast, so we'll have to be quick on that one. The first of 6 cars is the VL Walkinshaw. So we have seen the VL Walkinshaw released previously, but it was not the FSD range, and it had the blackout windows. So it will be good to see an FSD with clear windows and interior. And let's just say the VL Walkinshaw is an iconic car here in Australia, super popular, and this piece will be a hot piece of property, and resale price will probably not be pretty, especially if it's released in limited amounts. But this is number 1 of 6. Like I said, we should know what the other models are by the time this releases. Hey, let's have a stab in the dark and have a bit of a guess what else there will be in the Showstoppers. Surely there'll be another Maloo.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd think something like that. Yeah.
Surely there'll be a panel van, a Holden panel van. We probably should cover off on some Fords. Let's throw it out there and say will we see an XD Falcon or an XY Falcon? Hard to say.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say XY.
Who knows? We'll find. Yep. We got to more think of show cars,
AU.
expensive cars. We won't see an AU Falcon.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. XY for sure.
I don't think we've seen an FSD in the XB range or the XC range hardtop coupes yet. So I dare say we'll see a coupe, a Falcon coupe, in the FSD range. I will say that one. That'll be my first guess, because we haven't seen one of those yet with clear windows and interiors. So we'll go with that. Anyway, watch your space. Something to be excited about. I know you are pretty excited about that Monaro. And yeah, I'm stoked. These are coming out around. These are getting released at Summonat, so it'll actually be fairly close to when this episode drops. So by the time you're watching this, you might actually be able to start ordering these and have them in hand quite quickly. So yeah, pretty exciting. We haven't seen a lot come out from
Right
Oswills
around the corner.
since we started the podcast. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that is plenty happening. Plenty happening from Oswills. And makes sense. They do tend to ramp things up towards Summer Arts.
Yeah, definitely a giving me a little bit of FOMO not being able to go to Summonat. So it's probably an event that maybe I need to start lining up with a bit of a family trip over east to get there in the next couple of years, because there's quite a bit getting released. There was last year and there is again this year. So I think that'll be a standard moving forward.
Yeah. All right, mate. You got any hidden gems for us this episode?
There's always a hidden gem. It's always seems to be an unlicensed hidden gem. And I picked this hidden gem because I missed out. I didn't miss out. I didn't want to pay the price for the RLC. The Tomica one is quite expensive. So this one will be a little bit cheaper. It will be unlicensed. So if you have an issue with that, don't buy it. Go pay double the price for the Tomica one. But this is a Lamborghini Miura. So it's been released in 3 different colors, and the brand is Element Car. Never heard of it till today, but this one is very similar to the RLC and Tomica. Flip up rear end, flip up front end, and detailed in engine bay. So yeah, watch your space if you like your unlicensed cars. I'll definitely be getting one, potentially the red one. Not 100% sure yet, but yep. Element Car, there you go. Another unlicensed car. There's so many brands. It's like, yeah, the wheels look good. The color looks good. It does look very similar to the Tomica one, to tell you the truth. Actually, looking at it, the door's open as well. Maybe I need to look into how much this one costs, because this is sort of on the the top art PGM level opening doors and front and back. Yeah.
It does look very, very good. Look, when I saw the picture that you posted, I honestly thought it was the Tomica model. It looks very similar, but yeah, amazing. Looks really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'll pick one of these up. So yeah, if you're into your unlicensed cars and you want a Lamborghini Miura, pick it up. What is the most iconic thing about the Lamborghini Miura? Why was it such an iconic car? What was it the first to do? And hence why it's important to have one in your collection.
I don't no idea. What was the first to do?
Yeah, what was so iconic about this Lamborghini? And it was the first time it was done. And if I'm wrong, we'll just have to edit this out.
What was it the first to do? I'm not 100% sure what it was first to do.
I believe the Lamborghini Miura was the first mid-mounted engine, rear-mounted engine on a sports car.
Yeah, okay. For Lamborghini, or just sports cars in general.
I think in general, yeah, not just Lamborghini. I think it was sort of where it was revolutionized.
Okay. Yeah, right. There you go. I know that the Miura was created deliberately to compete with Ferrari, but and yeah, he really wanted to put something on the map that was competitive in that space. And many years later, we've certainly seen that the two brands are still in hot competition, really.
I guess so, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to have to go and fact check that myself. It was just something that popped into my head. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Let's hope I'm right. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a goose.
If that's everything that we've got for episode 7, let's wrap it up there. We are at time or thereabouts. But look, it's certainly been a good little recap of not only the new releases, but talking about some of the highlights of 2025. When this comes out, it will be very early 2026. As we said at the beginning of the podcast, I hope everyone had a great break, and we look forward to continuing this podcast into 2026. I think the comments on our YouTube channel were very clear. The people do want a guest. So we will work on what we can do about bringing some guests onto the show in 2026. So watch this space. But yeah.
Maybe we should try and start it with a bang. 2026 first episode with a guest. That would be exciting, but let's wait and see.
Not a bad idea. I like it. Full of good ideas, this bloke. No, good. Let's see what we can do.
Any topics, comments, questions anyone wants to ask, and leave it in the comments. Do so, because we're always looking for new ideas and things that we can cover off on. So our best comment wins.
Absolutely, certainly are. In fact, I will go a step further here and say the best comment on episode 7, as far as a topic idea. For episode 8, I have a spare set of JH5 that I will send you if you are somewhat local. I'm not going to ship it all around the world, but if you are not too far away and we really like that topic, I've got a spare set of JH5 with your name on it. So give us your best ideas.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right. Well, that is episode 7. Hope you enjoy it. And we will see you back in episode 8. All the best.
Yes. Catch ya.